Welcome to another Vegan 101 video. In this video, everything you need to know about vitamin D. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, but really refers to the group of fat-soluble corticosteroids that help with calcium absorption, maintaining an adequate calcium and phosphate concentration in the blood, reduces inflammation, and aids in cell growth, neuromuscular, and immune function. The two most relevant forms of vitamin D are ergocalciferol, also known as vitamin D2, and cholecalciferol, also known as vitamin D3. And vitamin D2 is normally sourced from yeast like mushrooms, and vitamin D3 is typically sourced from animal products. Vitamin D is also known as the sunshine vitamin. When sunlight hits your skin, it actually converts provitamin D3 to vitamin D3. Other sources of vitamin D include fatty fish, beef liver, cheese, eggs, and mushrooms, but if you want my opinion, just stick with the sun. The RDA for vitamin D is set at 600 international units or 15 micrograms per day for adults. It does vary by age, but surprisingly not by pregnancy or lactation. But even with these small recommendations, it is estimated that about 40% of the world's population is actually deficient in vitamin D. Now, this can occur when you don't consume or absorb enough vitamin D, you don't have enough light exposure, or your kidneys actually can't convert 25-hydroxy vitamin D to its active form. Deficiency in vitamin D can cause rickets in young children and osteomalacia in adults. It's also been associated with heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and many common forms of cancers such as breast, prostate, and colon. People who are most at risk for deficiency are breastfed infants, so if the mother is deficient in vitamin D, older adults who cannot synthesize vitamin D as well as they used to, maybe they're spending more time indoors or just not consuming enough, people with darker skin who require more sunlight than lighter skinned people, people with IBD or other conditions causing fat malabsorption, and people who are obese or have undergone gastric bypass surgery. Likewise, you can get too much vitamin D. It's recommended that you keep your intake less than 4,000 international units or 100 micrograms per day for adults. This isn't typically due from getting too much sunlight. It's mostly from too much supplementation, but too much sunlight can cause other issues such as sunburns, all the way to developing skin cancer. So what can you do to make sure that you have healthy vitamin D levels? The best thing to do would be to get your 25-hydroxy vitamin D levels checked via blood test and make sure that you are between 50 to 125 nanomoles per liter. That is the healthy range. Now, if you do end up being a little low, do not panic. The first thing I would suggest is just getting outdoors and getting more sunlight. However, sunlight is not always reliable. It really depends on the season, the time of day, the length of the day, cloud coverage, even the smog in the air. But if you can, aim for 5 to 30 minutes of sunlight exposure between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. twice a week. And make sure that as much of your skin is exposed as possible. That's one mistake people make, is that they're always so covered in clothing besides in the summertime when they go to the beach. Another option are tanning beds that emit 2 to 6% UVB radiation. Now, I know tanning beds don't have a good rep, but honestly that's because so many people abuse them. So if you don't get adequate sunlight throughout the whole year, that's another option to keep in mind. The last resort option, in my opinion, is supplementation. Now, supplements are available in both forms, vitamin D2, vitamin D3. Vitamin D2 typically is vegan. Vitamin D3, I have seen some vegan supplements out there, but it's always good to double check. Now, in terms of which one is more reliable, that's still debatable. But the current consensus is that they are both effective in raising vitamin D levels. But if you are going to take a vitamin D supplement, research shows that it's more effective to have your vitamin D with your largest meal of the day. So those are some options to keep in mind. Now, vitamin D is stored in fat and the liver for a few months, so you don't really have to worry about supplementing in the summer. Just getting enough sunlight would be wise, but thinking about those other options throughout the year is definitely important, not so much in the short term, but in the long term for avoiding those bone-related diseases as well as the other chronic diseases that are associated with vitamin D deficiency. So I hope this video inspired you to make a move towards the sunshine state, and if not, at the very least, make you more aware of the roles of vitamin D. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it around with anyone you think that may find this information useful. If you guys want more videos on nutrition and veganism, please hit that subscribe button down below. Also, be sure to follow me on my social media at Bananiac. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video.